global window de sob ke swagat kore ase global window bra apuni kan ke alag alag charcha laga upor de exclusive interviews in a news feed dina ase aji ami kan de global window de ekta kahani alag ekta ani kina ase aro itu nokwa ke de sob viewers ke tu ko mon ase ki Nagaland de ekta unemployed state ekta hoina jaise more than 1 lakh youth educated unemployed to be uneducated unemployed to be itula problem bra face kurina ase aro Nagaland laga mini Nagaland ko do metropolitan city ko do Dimapur ase aro Dimapur to bishi populated jaga ase bishi manu bra Dimapur de employment karone bisari na hai itu nishina ekta kahani ekta family de takan be ekta maid servant laki thakise aro khori to problem thakar bra Madam Bra online te itu laga vacancy karone tai post kuri dishe itu pasote tai laga khorde phone calls a shuru hoise ki ekta employment takina jaboli laga khota charcha bi olaise holibi there was one particular call aro itu one particular call do the member attend kurise aro taki invite korna impress hoigina thik hobo itu manu do kona tai laga khorde rakhina jaram de that moment onwards telaga khorde asti saman hara shuru hoise aro itu laga charcha te bishi duk paina ase aro Dimapur city bitor de khorde nika laga reports thakibo holibe undisclosed aji ade member global window ke itu laga kahani opor de sob ke awareness dibo karone tai logot kotha kore ase to aibi ami kan tai logot olop itu laga opor de charcha koribo so ma'am global window ke apni mon dangor korna itu kotha kora karone bishi khushi bai ase
মই বি খুশি আছে
তো ম্যাম আপনি লা কাহিনী তো মহান অলপ তো শুনি পাইছে হলিবি আপনি লা কোডে জুনটো আপনি ম্যাথ সার্ভেন্ট একটা লাকি থাকিছে সিন্স ওয়েন আৰু ইতলা কাহিনী অলপ কৈ দিব ম্যাম
মই আমি খান ঘৰ টু নাগা মানুহ লাইক এনি নাগা হাউস হোল্ড মই খান সব হেল্পাৰ লাগে আৰু ক্ৰিসমাস নিউ ইয়াৰ টাইম ইনু ফেস্টিভেল আৰু বেছি লাগি যায় মহান হেল্পাৰ খান সব যায় itu karone ami eneka olop eneka time nishinate mor ghorte kam kura khan sob chuti lugina jaise itu karone moi bishi desperate hoishi moi bi itu karone social media platform khan sob te moi advertisement vacancy karone manu bi bishi kam na thake naga manu khan bi koigina ami advertisement dise to following that advertisement bishi call aise hole bi মই লাগা মন্দিবি মই নাগা মানুকে particularly দিব কইগিনা নাগা কলস খান হি রুখি থাকিছে তো হিসাবতে একটা নাগা চুকরি কল কইগিনা কাম বেশি জানা নিশনা বেশি পলাইট আর ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ বি সব ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ ফর মেজর ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ তা বেশি ফ্লুয়েন্ট প্র কই তো খানা খান বি পাকাবো জানে তো শি ওয়াজ ফিটিং মাই বিল তো ঠিক আছে কইগিনা তাই জলদি জয়েন কৰিব পাৰিব কইছে ইটো কাৰণে মই ঠিক আছে কইগিনা তাকে আহিবি কইনা তাকে শর্ট লিস্ট কইগিনা আৰু নেক্সট ডে ফলো আপ কৰিগিনা কল কৈছে তাইকে কাম মই দি আছে আহিবি কোৱাটো তাই থাৰ্ড ডে বৰে আহি যাইছে তাই নিজৰ আহি যাইছে
একবাৰ ইন্টাৰাপ্ট কৰিব তো এইটো কোনটো ইয়াৰ হ'ব না
এইটো লাষ্ট ইয়াৰ আছে
ওকে
ইয়া
month to December
yeah,
okay 2022
yeah so inika krigina te ahishe very efficient girl polite be bishi polite but first from maybe all of lagi that she was a little too smooth you know to tai ghor ahishe to moi usually of course mukhan naga manu hilibi ta tu thekana nai to karni moi id proof mangishi ta laga family kiba kibi in case of emergency contact kribole id proof my either parents la contact number life ase kule nohaile to aadhar pan card anything to tai kuise dibo etia ma busti jaigina ase ahigina dibo enika hoise to rukhi ragise na die tai then suddenly every day choto moto harabole shuru hoise gote bola harabole shuru hoise then ekbar to cash haraising na itu to me bishi clear jane kiman haraise to amount to so next din they confront krise taike initial to tai deny krise but after that ta admit krigina itu amount to anigina dishe to tai map kribi krise thik ase map kribo holibi apni laga ghor manu contact mohan ke dibi enega kise to tai hodai excuse kiba kibi ulai thage aro nadde to moi kise after some time about more than 2 weeks pasite to enega to chulibo na paribo aro majote ta laga habit kiba kibi bishi suspicious dikhi tagise aro lukai phone call दूसरा काम करी थका चुकरा ड्राइवर खान लगा बड़ा है लैंडलाइन खान बड़ा ताई कॉल करी थके कॉल तो बिशी आहे ताई है ना बोले भी ताई कौन भी कांटेक्ट ना दे सो आमी खान भी सस्पिशियस हुई जैसे पासते मैं ताई के ठीक है तुम्हें कांटेक्ट एको ना दिबो कुले उलाई जाबी कुछ ना ताई के उलाई दिशे गोरबरा तो about 2 weeks निशिनाते ताई she broke into my house आरो बिशी सामान ताई चोर रिली जैसे especially jewelleries cash phone watch can सब ताई चोर करिना लुई जैसे
तो how did you notice that ma'am itu tai aishi ko to kine ga jani sha bani
see ताई मैं लगा घर ठगा तमते usually I have a day maid also but since they are not to discriminate non local हुआ करने मैं इन्हें मुखाने निजर मानु की ही मैं ऊपर दे सपा करूँ दे और दूसरा day maid खान की तो नीचे दे सपा करूँ दे so ताई ही ऊपर दे सामान की रखे ताई सब जाने because मोला cupboard मोला wardrobe ताई maintain करी दे तो ताई सब जाने
that means ma'am ताई बड़ा अपने के impression तो बिशी फाल दिखाई से
absolutely इन्हें का कोई ना मोला trust ताई win करी की ना लुईशे तो ताई जा तो पासते ताई एक दिन तो घर आहा तो लॉक लैच तो बाहर लगा लैच तो इतो टाइम तो मैं लगा मेड खान नहीं दूसरा भी आसे मुखान लिव इन मेड खान नहीं कि ना थकी शी तो करने यूजुअली लॉक करी कि ना जाए देखे मुखान चाबी धुरी कि ना जाए तो चाबी आहा तो लैच तो टेम्पर करना थकी शी
अच्छा
हले भी घर भीतर आहा तो एको सामान तो उल्टा पुल्टा एको थका नहीं है नो बट नेक्स्ट दिन दे ही हुदा हुदी कुरा तो सामान एक ता दुईटा हरा बोले शुरू हुई बिचारे आसे तो थका नहीं तो मैं लगा लॉकर डे मैं सडनली लॉकर डे भी लॉक थकी से मैं खुली कि ना सा तो मैं लगा ज्वेलरी लगा बॉक्स कंदो सब आसे हले भी भीतर सब जाइसे सब चोर ना लुई जाइसे इन्हीं का हुई से
so मैम आपने यानी तो लगा मैटर सपोर्ट है आपने गान FIR पुलिस स्टेशन दे लॉन्च करा ना
हो जाइसे जाएगी ना पुलिस स्टेशन ते मैं लगा एप्लीकेशन तो लुई जाएगी ना दी से तो police in charge there but the person who was interacting with me tai first to make kushi to kan maiki la metra se apni kan dusra police maiki ki baat lui jabi kushi but the thing is moi maiki laga tate brai che tahan kushi yete mula jurisdiction to go or is te ase tade jabi kushi to moi lui gina ise to moi कुशी तो ऑफिसर के ठीक है तुम्हें अपनी एप्लीकेशन लोगो गले यति लिखि दिबी मैं कुशी मोला एप्लीकेशन दे लिखि दिबी तुम्हें लोगो ना पड़े तो इतु लोगी ना मैं फर्दर हायर अप ते जाबो कुशी तो मैं इनेका कत ताई कुशी ठीक আছে मैं ओसी के एक पर हुदी कि নাই বইতে বই থাকিবি কুशी তো মই অফিসতে থাকিছে তাই ওসি কি কথা করে নাই কিনা তাই জিন কি কথা কৰিছে না জানে বলি বি তাই কুशी ঠিক আছে কোনা তাই নি ৰেজিষ্টাৰ তাতে লিখিছে বলি বি মই কুशी মই লাগে FIR নম্বৰ দিবি কুशी তাই না লাগে নি তো এপ্লিকেशन পৰা FIR এপ্লিকেशन তো হি अपनी जेरोक्स करना लोबी इनेगा कुछ मुझे तो मुझे तो मुझे ऑलरेडी स्क्रीनशॉट करना मला की बात है ऐसे स्कैन करना से तो मुझे ना लगे कोई ना मुझे भी जाई जैसे तो और पुलिस की भी डिटेल खान अपडेट खान सब मुझे के पा करेंगे डी दिशे ताकि व्हाटएवर प्रूफ वेरिफिकेशन मोहल्ला साइट पूरा प्रूफ थकी से इतो खान भी सब दिशे और मुझे तो 100% ताई चोर कृषि ने का जाने ऐसे के लिए बोले दूसरा मानो चोर आइसे बोले घर तो सामान बिसराम दे उल्टा पुल्टा थकी वो तो बोले भी नहीं थेफ्ट थका ना एकदम सब सामान तो थिक इन ऑर्डर एक तभी नॉट अ हेयर आउट ऑफ प्लेस यू नो और सामान एको रैंसैक एको साइन थका नहीं और एग्जैक्टली कोते सामान के रखे ताते वो थे नहीं लुई जैसे so it has to be her who knows the ins and outs of the house
तो मैम before joining अपनी लगा कोडे जो हेल्पर तो जॉइन नकरा के भी सामान का नारिश ना रहना अपने
ना हराई
ओके so only after
she came yeah
अच्छा ठीक है तो पुलिस का नहीं तो अपनी क्या को तो कंप्लेंट तो लॉन्च करबुली लगा था खान हेजिटेट कर तो अपनी ला हेल्पर तो की मैम ताई ऑल एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी मानो आसे ना कि व्हाट इज योर apprehensions in regard with that
no, the excuse or rather the explanation the police gave me was they're overloaded with so many other things.
Acha.
Enega kuishi taito na. Aro itu kan sob mohan kuri thakile dusra kam kiniga kuribo. Itu hisab te kuishi. It's not because my girl was the one who worked with me was extraordinary. It's just that they were expressing their inability because of the overload. Yeah, work overload.
तो मैडम अपनी तो हेल्पर जिन तो अपने पुलिस से कंप्लेन करिसे पुलिस लोकत न जा के दे अपने ताई की होता होती करिसे ना करना नले ताई नि सामान कान चोर करा तो ताई नि यूजुअल habituated na tai first time kura na kiniga aro tai laga activity de kini dikhi cha apne gan
Sabi, after I removed her from my house,
Acha.
I had no contact with her. My contact eku na ta ko thagi ase ki thagi ase bi na jane,
Okay.
but very questionable character, you know. So I had no contact in her, with her.
Acha.
So there was no question of questioning her
Acha.
because chor kura pasati bi I did not meet her, but just that my very strong proof that she is the one who
Acha.
has taken it. Itu thagi she. So tai kitu eku moi tage hudauti chor kura pase hua nai. Case file kuri kina bi to eku lead thaga nai holi bi ek din again in the morning she broke into the house.
Okay.
Itu din de dhuri she taige.
Acha.
So tai dhuri she gorte mo laga driver bra moi Kohima jaba thagi she. My driver was filling a water bottle for the journey. Suddenly he saw her backpack tahi polai jai kina gorla piche phale tu mai kidu ayo ahi kina thagi she. Taige dhuri kina to taike dhuri kina moi logot ani she. To tai tu of course she's very good in acting also. Kandi bole suru aro modat mangi bole ahi she. Tumi moi laga auntie ase ki kuishe. So I told her straight away, yeah, I'm not an auntie to any thief na. Aro tumi moi la saman sob chor kuishe moi jani ase moi police ki ole. Of course at that point kun chor bra chor kuishe kubo. You know, so I mean she was denying even at that point. So I called the police and I told them that moi itu chor moi case file kurna application di. I would say FIR because FIR launch kurna tahan. This is I think 2 weeks after I went to the police station.
When
okay,
was it? 2023?
No, 23.
Yeah.
January 23.
Okay.
Now, so after that, eku khobor moi to update pana police but fortunately or unfortunately, fortunately for me, unfortunately for her, she was caught again breaking into my house second time. So that time I caught her red-handed and I called the police, told them that the application had given, told them dhuri gina se I be juldi inega kuishe. So tahan moi laga ghore aishe. So till such time the police reached my house, took about 10 minutes. The girl was denying, Loanai crying and all that, but I know it was a drama because I also work with people all the time. I know when they, so she's actually a professional. She was also on the drugs.
Or drugs?
Yeah, she was also into drugs and things like that because the police also caught her with drugs and all.
Okay.
And it's a gang, you know, it's an organized because there were instances where she was working in my house for 2 or 3 weeks when she was there. At night, there used to be some boys who will come when it's dark and you can't recognize them. They'll come and loiter. I mean, manuthi kasikuli front door ra hebi na, saying that we have come to meet them. That any annoy they can kiki kota she'll run out and then those boys will come, mask lagai they can, saying that. But I don't know whether it's to hide their identity. It's very suspicious. When I question her, who is it that's coming like that? She'll say my cousin brother, my cousin this, my cousin that, you know, things like that. But very questionable. So they'll come, give her money. And I used to think, what is the connection of this boys coming and giving money, you know?
Achha.
So inika kuri thakamte before I could figure out ki hamne khitai dishe mudu taike na. So she used to make a lot of calls to many people, which numbers all trace kurna police ki dishe moi, you know.
Ma'am, apni number trace kurishi ko do. To damde tela mobile do apni thorishi na.
No, it is not her mobile.
Achha.
That tai tu mohan landline bara.
Achha.
Aro fortunately chokra ekta thagishi mola gorde kam kore and my driver itu khan laga phone cholai. To takhan tu call log de na number so pulai gina dishe. When she was in my house, she said she doesn't have phone. To moi kuishe to tumi ki na moi ki phone kuishe moi laga advertisement dikhi gina.
Acha.
To tai kuishe oh phone cholai tegiche lebi my phone pani di giri gina baltin te gina biya hui jaise kuishe. So come to think of it, she's very smart because tai mola number to save kuri gina tai aha din dibi tai moke ekta number ba call kuishe tai kuishe tu auto driver laga number ase.
Acha.
Mo laga phone tu biya hui jaise pani di giri gina. Poisa nai phone kini bole moi phone cholabo na paribo gina. That's how she came to my house and I thought also I mean, for us, you know, we're thinking, Balba Thagile Pichide Moi Ekta Kinigina Diva, I was thinking like that, you know. But then that was all a ploy, so that trace Narakibule. Nika Krigina, when she left my house, she said she doesn't have a phone and she didn't have a phone and she used to make a lot of calls from the landline and my driver and my other boys' number. So, my phone number trace out Kratu Tahan number phone call log Brehe Ulagina police Kedu Dishe. Okay? because tai brother ekta number bhi na de ama laga number bhi na de baba number bhi na de ex husband ko ek bar to itu I don't know her connection every day she lies, you know. So the big red flag was for me, she keeps lying. Misa koi thake hodai. So anyway, to make a long story short, when she was caught the second time when she entered my house, she was carrying a backpack. Moi tala bag seize kora tu tate chabi ekta aro phone thakise.
Acha.
To itu phone bi moi police ke dishe. Acha. Moi take to moi koise tumi phone nai koise tu phone kot pora. Because mola phone bi tai ekta chor korishi to I lost, you know. So she said itu mola cousin sister laga ase koise. So I asked her to give me the password and opened it. Of course, there were a lot of incriminating, bad stuffs on her phone. Achha. You know. So I said, okay, kuina moi chabi tu moi la hate rakhi na phone tu moi police kan ke hand over kuri dishe. Okay. So when police came, I handed over the phone which was in her bag, which she claimed it was her cousin sister's. Okay. So I mean that's the story of the phone.
And about the key, itu chabi tu ki laga?
Itu chabi tu she said itu ghor laga chabi ase kuise. So now she is somebody who doesn't have an address also. So I said okay fine kuina moi chabi tu moi loi gina rakhishile. So that key was actually later on it was handed over to the police. So police khan rati de kot laga chabi ase tai tu ja to motel rather. Okay. Ekdam third class jaga ekta laga chabi thagise. So tate he takhan ja tu moi laga jewelry laga receipt khan ki khan sob tate paise. So from there on the police started tracing. She had already sold it off to Marwari Pati jewelry shops. Okay. So tate bra then the police also discovered drugs. Sunflower koina itu talaga room de paise. So prior to that I didn't know how sunflower was sold. Okay. But the police told me that sunflower is sold in that sada diba khante. But itu sada diba tu every day I used to find lots in her room. Okay. So she was actually an addict, you know, but I was not very educated about sunflower. So I didn't know that sunflower laga tu moi jana nai. So police can write to sunflower ase koigina taike sunflower to takan whole day after she was caught, whole day interrogation police station thagise to, but she never admitted. She kept saying she's innocent. But I think only around 10 or 30, 11 rati de police kan tai itu chabi mui dia pasade takan itu so called hotel de lui jate sunflower or whatever drugs which was in her room all of khelaise taige. Then she cooperated. This is as per my investigating officer's report. She admitted that whatever is listed, you know, she admitted to some, but not everything. Anyway, they found sunflower in her room, and that's how I came to know that she was an addict. Then that's when I realized so much of sada, that plastic diba, was in her room that I found. You know, I thought she was on tobacco, but actually it was the sunflower.
So, ma'am, abuni cash or jewelleries to harado, kiman worth lang ho na?
Ito bishi thai. Maybe all of Paris. I think more than 5 lakhs in Nigado hobo. Total of everything, you know. Okay. So.
So, ito abuni wapas paisina pa na recovered.
See, a lot of the jewelry is back. Okay. Cash to na pawo, koti pawo. That too, they must have used it to na. Watch paise. Watch to paise. Not the ekta to paise, ekta to panai. Jewelry to paise. Some, but some things to ite bhi panai.
So, madam, idu jundu hotel, hotel, kundu location bani thagise.
Itu to muitu janai na jane de. The police will be able to tell you better, you know, because this is Assam border somewhere that. Nega kushe.
So, madam, police pra apni laga complaint do ignore kura pasudi jundu second time tagi thurishi. Itu pasudi FIR do dodge kurishina kura nai.
See, what happened is after she was caught, our station de thaki gina first day of interrogation din de. By evening, her mother was traced. Aro Amatu police station de anishe, and her mother admitted to her being a drug addict, and you know, she has tried her best, and her mother admitted to her being a very, very how to say, difficult to handle. Obviously, she's a drug addict, so the mother must have tried her best putting in a rehab. But kote dalili bi polai I can't do anything. Ineka kushi madu. So when the mother said that probably the police must have got a big thing and then started investigating on the drug line, I feel. So talaga ma ineka kurigina taike durigina pasate takhan after that we got in touch with the Commissioner of Police.
Okay.
So the Commissioner of Police intervened. So we told him from there. I think the investigating officers and all must have definitely got the pressure, because many days after that only I was called again by my investigating officer to come and again come and sign and something like that. So I told him, I have filed my complaint long ago. You still haven't filed my FIR. So you're going to do it, because this was on the instruction of the CP. Commissioner of CP that they called me back again. And I went back next again. So when I went next day to the police station, the Marwari who owns the jewelry shop was also there.
Ma'am, it is kundumoy now with walado.
This is all in January.
January.
Yeah, okay. This is all in January.
So can you na ma'am ido abunila khode taka helper abunila jewellery do without receipt? Can you na do jewellery shop te bikai sina?
No, tai na. She's, like I said, she's a very smart professional. So when she stole my jewelry, she stole all the invoices along with it. Achha. Okay. So what she had done is invoice te mo laga phone number thakishi to. Itu takhan katigina takhan la phone number dalishe. Okay. Aro itu jewelry dukan te tu takhan. I'm narrating this so that people get educated. The modus operandi these gangs use, you know. So this invoice was actually phone number tu takhan laga phone number lagai dishe. So obviously when he took and they did a Xerox copy. Original the tempering to dikhibo to. So they took the Xerox copy of the invoice to the jewelry shop. So the jewelry guy must have called that number, and it must have been, you know, among their gang only, you know, the number. So why I say that it's a gang, it's operated, is because I also got to find out that there were a couple of people who visited her when she was in my house. Secondly, number iman chula ase tai to tahan connection thaibo, you know. So the jewelry guy, I mean the owner, told me that we called the number and it was their number. So you know, we thought it was. So I told the jewelry guy, I mean, you know very well that when she walks in, when a person walks in, the amount of the jewelry worth she brings and her status, it's not matching. It's very obvious that she's a thief. But you bought it blindly because it was a cheap deal for you. You know, you're also guilty. Anyway, the law will take its course because it's in the hands of the police. I did the fire and I came out after that. So I think after 3 weeks after the CP's intervention, which I'd like to really appreciate, because at his behest everything started moving very fast. You know, the reason why actually we went to the CP is because even after having filed our I wouldn't say a FIR, having accepted my application, no information, no contact or whatsoever was from the police department. And one morning we found, early in the morning, we found some boys, very early in the morning, looking towards our house, shining a torch light. For a long time they were hanging around like that. So we felt it was not very secure, you know, I mean, because we already know that it's operated, a gang operated. So we felt we felt insecure regarding our security, and anybody can just come, flash, and then jump in the gate, you know. So we saw boys coming in. Unless they have intention, there's no need for them to stand in the gate so much, shine torch into our house, you know.
After her arrest, right? No. Helper arrest,
no, this is before the arrest, okay? And this is before the arrest, in between the time that we went to the CP. Okay, so because of all that, we were forced to go to the CP, because we just said if something happens, you know, who's going to take responsibility? The law enforcing agent has to be informed about it, and they were very slow. And I was quite disappointed with my IO initially, because it's only after the intervention of the CP and after the after this is 3 weeks after we filed the FIR, and after having caught the thief, handed over to them, I got a call one night that they will visit my house. Okay, so ACP, OC, and IO, the three came at night for a brief thing. The ACP was very, very good. He reassured us, gave us a lot of numbers to reach out to them anytime there is security lapses of security or a suspicious thing, you know, just to call him. So that's what happened. And then the lady, the thief, was arrested, and I have not added this. She was actually pregnant. Okay, she was also pregnant, and because she was on drugs and so thin, from the second day I suspected her, and I asked her, but she told me she has health issues. She's taking medication. And all that. I mean, she is somebody who can make stories. So later on, only on medical investigation, we found out that she was 7 months pregnant. So she was arrested. When I handed over the thief to them, I think they released her the next day or something like that. She was taken out on bail by her family members. You know, I mean, sadly, our Nagas are like that. You know, golti huishe itu karna nasike to amikan manu to family khandan sab manu ahibo enika korina golti kura manu to ki lesson nesikai gina we start bailing them out, you know. So this is a really wrong thing for us in our society. It should change with our homes, each individual. So the family had bailed her out. Because there are certain conditions about a pregnant woman and all that, and there are also some conditions which I cannot say on a thing for her. I mean, it's not right to divulge that in public. But she had other health issues also, and she was released on bail. But my IO told me again, couple of days after she was arrested, I mean released, she was re-arrested because there were again 2 other cases filed against her. From the Dipupar area or somewhere like that. Okay, I'm not very sure about the thing. So she had other case filed against her by other parties.
So ma'am, apuni laga khorde help par thaka deni age to kiman sal nishna hobo na tailo?
You know what? She will be late 20s in ega hobo. Okay, but I don't know because she's somebody who's on drugs, so her health, appearance, everything, you know. But definitely between 25 to 28 inika hobo. My estimation, you know, I could be wrong also. So between that inika hobo.
Aro ma'am tai kwanishna apni akidi kwanishna tai language sop jane dialect kan ki laga jane na
Lotha, Angami, Sema, Ao, Sop. And she cooks everything, all the cuisines very nicely. Yeah, if I ask her, Aji Anishi itbra banai ao sabji banai dibo tai. Aji lotha banai gile tai banai dibo. I mean, she was like very that way. She's quite resourceful also, very resourceful girl, very talented, very good with her work. So it's very easy to be duped or to start trusting her, you know. So
ma'am, apuni kwanishna OC SCP ka naishe korde apni ga short kurishi to itya jindo apuni la korde nika chorushe itu maikiwa itu chordo itya la case to kinika chuliase ko updates diase.
You know what, I have actually, I think it was a month ago. I called up and the IO told me that second loot of like some more jewelries were recovered and to come to the police station and take it. So I went and took the second delivery of, you know, my lost goods. But after that, second time, first to Garam when they went and, you know, got it. Second time too, again she admitted probably they must have traced. So it to second time there's some more jewelry. So after that I have also been I have not followed up. I have also been very busy traveling, so I had really not followed up. And the last conversation I had with the IO was like she was re-arrested again, although she was released on bail by the family. After that, I have not followed up. Maybe to do, I do think crosses my mind, but I have not followed up on that. So yeah.
So, madam, apni first junto complaint likhi East Police Station de. To takan laga harkat police laga harkat to apni satisfied hoane bishi. So yes, initially I was not very happy with the response, or rather the inaction or apathy from the end of the police, because there was no follow-up, nothing. Only after, I mean, the intervention of the CP came after I caught the thief from my house. Okay, so after that only the case was taken very seriously, and the FIR was launched after that, and the police and those in charge started getting into action. So yes, I would be very honest to say that I was very disappointed the initial response. So ma'am, apni la court CCTV can be rakhi na
No, we don't have at the moment,
Okay.
but we would be putting in very soon. Yeah.
Okay. So, ma'am, apuni lo kota korna pishi kushi paise olibe apuni kwa tamde ekta disappointing part to junto apuni first complaint East Police Station de launch kurise darch kurise itu time de police law response yes itu questionable ase olibe apuni kuise ki with the intervention of the CPA itu act korina jaise to ma'am apuni ki ekta ni before we wind up our interview apuni ki hoti bole mon thaka do apuni nishina niga peshi mano unnoticed uninformed talk pai thakibo pare noli taka bi ni jane bola korde to global window la viewers kan ge helpers kan lagile hushiyar thakiboli laga apuni la experience pa apuni ki koi ma'am
Well, from my experience, in the first place, I did this interview because I want to educate the common people, and there will be so many people like me. At every homes, Nagas we are so used to having helpers, you know, and with all the women going out in the workforce, we need somebody to look after. So, the biggest mistake I made was to put to advertise this in Instagram or social media, you know. So it's not a safe place because you're bringing people into your home. You can advertise for your work if there's a vacancy for your work related, but I think for helpers we have to be very careful because there's rampant drug addiction. Because of that, there's a lot of petty thieves, and these are all organized crime. And when they take our phone numbers, they take. I mean, now you know your information can be just stolen by anybody. So my strong advice would be to not put up advertisements. I know we can get very desperate, but not to put on social media. Secondly, itu judi manu pai kuilibi without verification, without blood test kan itu na contact kan na thaki kina tu nolobi kile kole ajikali bimar simar bi bishi chuli ase because of rampant drug addiction. They share needles, so alag beleg bimar khan bishi hase etu karne sob manu bi gorde kam kora manu rakhibo kulibi blood test kan kuribi check kuribi aro tai khan laga family member bosti address kan proof na thaka tak to eni na rakhibi gorde.
So ma'am kwanishna abuni laga korde jintu incident happen hoise pishi mundu kunigina holibe khushi kopor ekta to ki to jintu helper prachor kurise olop saman do abuni recover hoise aro kanon ge action lobole karone apuni rakhi dise goto bishi dangor aro itu nigina viewers kan ge aro public kan ge aro citizens of Nagaland ge hushiyar thakibole apuni mun dangor korna global windigi kota kora karone bishi khushi paise ma'am. Thank you. To apuni kan huni paise itu story do aro ma'am bro ko anishna tai laga khorde helper ekta desperate laga bra tai luishile December bra itu moina bra tai laga khorde trouble do ha shuru hoise saman hara shuru hoise Jewelleries hara shuru hoise aro itu nina cash be bishi arise to kwanishna tai bra January the complaint East Police Station di lagaise holibi ayo do kun takisha man kubo na pare holibi complaint to forward loi jaboli laga tai hesitate kurse where tai bishi disappoint hoise guna apni an huni pais holibi only after the intervention of the Commissioner of Police itu laga case to forward jaise aro takhan bra police pura thora noina do chordo takhan bra hai thurigina police ki dia laga bi khopor pai ase aro at the same time takhan bra kwa do ki ekta thakise aro idu ki do motel or hotel ekta laga thakise aro jaigina tai laga Jewelleries laga receipt kan invoice kan aro itu nina brown sugar trucks bi bishi paisi ko ase to idu bishi pa do khoti rakhina ase police kan ami kan hota hoti koribo aro idu kile case to forward loi jabole ayo bra hesitate kurse itu bi hota hoti koribo holibi yadi dangor ekta sochna tai viewers kan ge dibole mon thaka do sob manule khorde helper laga time ayase to helper do inni khushi mushi nolobi gushe tai kwa nishina itu social media Instagram de post kori dia bra tai tu laga duk to aise aro tai tia do lesson learn kurishi to ba viewers kan ki kwa ase hushiyar koribi aro khorde helpers kan garni do phal bra scanning korigina ta kan laga IT cards proof address itu kan sob sai gina lubi kwa ase aro so that tai laga khorde jun do happen hoise apuni laga khor mui laga khorde happen no bolila to viewers kan kwanishina ami kan itu laga matter support bi ami kan CP ki bi hotibo aro police kan ki bi hota hoti kuribo ki kinika chule ase holibi itu ko mon jaise ki sob manu itia hushiyar bolila time hoise khorde helper tak karuni bi diktar hoa time situation pungchise to ami kan akha rakhi thakibo ki jindu madam bra do khota koise sob karni help hoise to viewers kan itia karni mani for more updates apunan side gi global window
ছয় টাকাতে 1 করোড়
হ্যাঁ 6 টাকাতে 1 করোড়
6 টাকাতে 1 করোড়
হ্যাঁ 6 টাকাতে
জিতিব কোৱা
ডিল উইকলি লটাৰী কিনিবি 6 টকাতে আৰু জিতিব পাৰে 1 crore খালি 6 টকা ডিৰ হাপ্তা লটাৰী বদলি কৰি দিব আপোনাৰ জীৱন